Oh my gosh, y'all. Oh my gosh. Did I scare y'all? Yes, honey. It's us. It's Scott and I. We're back. We're and I'm gonna just disclaim it. We're not on the case today, but we are open for business yet again. We're not on the case, but we are open. And we're going to be open to something new. That's what we're open to. We're open to something new. And what we're going to be open to is what I've been promising for like a couple of days, inspired by this little thing over here, which is going to be, let me hang up our open sign so we know, honey. We got to know that we're open. Sorry, and we got this janky thing, our janky refrigerator magnets that hold us up barely, honey, period. With that. Okay, so we are open to something new, and this something new is what I've been promising for a while. It is Christopher Pike's Monster Girl. This is the book inspired by this. This book is inspired by this look, baby. So we're gonna do Christopher Pike's Monster. This might be a 2-part. It might end up. It can't be a 3 because clearly I don't do well with 3s because I never finished Mommy Dearest. So we should probably keep things 2-part. So, a little backstory. I have been reading Christopher Pike's. As you can see, this book is old as all get up. Like, look at how old this is. It still has this little mail. When you and Scott, remember when you could do, you could order books like this? And it's like no COD, girl. Y'all was trusting people to do cash on delivery. So anyway, that's old people talk right there for all you youngsters out there. So I have been reading Christopher Pike since I was like a tween. I was a little girl just like gobbling this foolishness up. It's probably why I'm crazy today, honey. Some of this stuff I was reading was not age appropriate. So any youngster, what the hell, the stuff they put on TV now is about where this is. So we're gonna do this book that I have been reading since I was a tween. And we're going arts and crafts it because I'm not cooking today. It's Saturday. I don't cook on Saturdays. Well, I do sometimes. Scott's shrugging. Because this is about outer space, I have a puzzle. Look, and it has real NASA pictures on there. I'm gonna do, and it's only 100 piece. I'm gonna do this puzzle while I'm telling y'all about this crazy book. I mean, honey, these people, it starts crazy. Oh my, girl, look at how big these pieces. I mean, I got pretty big hands. But this a big old piece, child. Okay, hey, howl at the moon, baby, or howl at Mercury, whatever. So with this one, we are not on the case, honey. We are actually watching. Where are my little binoculars? We watching this foolishness from afar, baby. We gonna put our binoculars on and we gonna just be like, girl, oh wait, one lens off. You probably want to watch it like that, girl. We gonna watch like this. Like, oh my God, I can't believe them people doing that. That's crazy as hell. So that's how we watching. So get your binoculars, get your big puzzle pieces, get something to drink, do something, because these people are about to run clean smooth them up. So let's go. So how this story starts, and I'm gonna read the beginning for you so you can see they throw you in the deep end in this book. How the story starts, you have Angela. She the main character. So Angela is new in town. She just moved a point. She moved in with her grandfather, her father's father, because her parents were divorcing and it was wild. And she just was not here for it. There was neglect. Like they were not paying her no attention. They was busy fighting. So she moves to, I want to say the city name was Point. She moves to Point to go stay with her grandfather. Now let me tell you about her granddaddy. Scott, are you ready for her granddaddy? You're not ready for her granddaddy. Are you ready for her granddaddy? Her granddaddy is a whole, like he is in his 70s, honey, and he should have been down to Florida at the Villages because Pawpaw is dating all the young girls in the city. Pawpaw said, baby, I am single. I'm ready to mingle. I ain't got much time left. And baby, I'm going to use it adequately. And I'm going to date every young chick around here. Okay. Hide your wife. Okay, hide the single ladies, honey. Beyonce, honey, bring them single ladies here. He ain't gonna put no ring on it, but he gonna show them a good time. So Papa be gone for weeks at times, days. She don't know when he there. She don't know when he gone. Also living in that house is the dog, and the dog's name is Plastic. I don't know why he named the dog Plastic, but the dog's name is Plastic. So Angela moves to the city. She's new, there. She has a best friend. She has two best friends, Mary and Kevin. And, she finally, after being there for a little bit, she finally, gets invited to a party. And this is where it's going to get real. It's going to get real, real quick. So she's sitting at the party. She's having her second beer, they said. So she underage drinking. She's having her second beer. And all of a sudden, remember I told you she had two best friends. One was Kevin, the other was Mary. All of a sudden, here come Mary with this thing, take out the water, add shot. Okay? Take water off of this, add shot on there. And that's where she came in. She came, honey, ready. She came ready. And within that time, so Angela's sitting there with her beer, like, oh my God, this is not a pipe this time. This is a beer, not with a straw. So she's just sitting there like, oh my God. And her thought process was, man, Mary knows how to show up to a party and have a good time. That is until Mary went on and said kablooey to a football player. Then she said, baby, I ain't done. Kablooey, there go a cheerleader, honey. Okay, one lost their guts, the other lost their head, okay? It starts just, let me read it, okay, honey? Let me read you the first couple of sentences because I'm not kidding. Okay, let's talk about it. The first sentence, it began with blood. It would end the same way, okay? Period. That's how, the first two sentences. My girl kicks in the door, waving the fofo, honey, and blowing people away. Oops. So, she looking around. So after she took out the cheerleader and a football player, she's looking around and she's like, oh my God, I'm still looking for more. I got more action in me. And so who is she looking for? Well, Mary has a boyfriend. He's the football star. His name is Jim. And that's exactly who Mary went on after, honey. I'm supposed to be doing this puzzle, but I got so caught up. So now Mary going after her boyfriend, and she chasing him. Now he seems to know that Mary coming for him. I don't know what he knew. I don't know who he was, who told him, but he seemed to know that Mary was coming for him. So he starts to running. And he runs up the stairs and runs in his room or whatever. Now, mind you, I don't know why Angela feels like this. I don't know why. But Angela decides she wants to be a hero and she gonna go off and help him because that's her best friend and she don't know what the hell her best friend is doing. So she running chasing her best friend who's chasing her man. Not Angela's man, but Mary chasing her. She running after her best friend as her best friend chases after her man, Jim. And she trying to do him like she did that cheerleader and that football player. And so she's chasing him, and she actually catches up to Mary until Mary said, and she trips her on the stairs. And Mary looked at her and kicked her right in the face. And Mary was like, baby, I am here on a mission, honey. I have a purpose. And you stopping that purpose ain't what's gonna happen. So when she tried to get her again, so Mary grabs the omit that water, honey, and put shot in there. She grabs it back and she's like, look, Mary turns to Angela and says, if you try to stop me, you gonna end up like them too. And possibly this fool over here. So at that point, you gotta say, let me fall back. And that's exactly what Angela did till they got a little ways up them stairs. And then she went and chasing again. I don't know why she wants to be heroic. I don't know. I don't know if she thought there was going to be like, I don't know if she was going to get 15 minutes of fame. I don't know if she thought, sorry, I'm sorting these puzzles because I like to do the outside first. I don't know if she thought she was going to have 15 minutes of fame. I don't know why this woman is doing what she's doing because I would clear the way, but that's just me. But she was hell-bent on making sure that she saved Jim. So they get upstairs and she finds out Jim just then jumped through the window, honey, and took off running into the woods. And so Mary's mad. She wanted to take him out, But she realized, okay, girl, I'm too far. So off she goes running. Now, mind you, they say the other people, because there are like 30-something people at this party. Mind you, there's only one hero. And she the new girl. Again, I don't know why we invested, but whatever. So, I guess finally the other football players came and they were like, and like Angela's asking questions. She's like, did you see where they went? Did she get them? She's asking all these questions. And so they're like, we don't know. And they ran into the woods. And so she's like, okay, let me get on out here. Now, at a point, here come the sirens. Okay. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police. And so the police were coming, which is a good thing. Because, honey, this book started crazy. It started real crazy. Wait, I'm doing something wrong here. I'm gonna have to sort again. I'm gonna have to resort the sort. So anyway, so let me just take them all out this box. Clearly, this is why I don't cook no more, because I was messing stuff up. I don't do multitasking well, even though I tell myself I do it. So dinner was all late. Like I wasn't multitasking well. Was I multitasking well, Scott?
There's always room for improvement in everything you do.
This is why we don't talk to Scott. I'm kidding, Scott. I talk to you. They know I talk to you. So anyway, my girl Angela runs on out, and the police are finally there. And she bumps into a Asian police officer, and my girl is in hysterics. And he's like trying to ask her, like, girl, calm down. Tell me what's going on, because we just arrived here and everybody's acting a fool. What happened? And so she's like, oh my God, they ran into the woods. Mary tried to Mary took out the cheerleader and the football player, and now she's going after her boyfriend Jim. And so the officer's like, okay, where are they? She's like, in the woods. And he was like, can we drive our car through these woods? And she was like, no. But then yet she drives her car through the woods. Well, around the lake, because there's a lake around there. So they ran into the woods near the lake, like towards the lake. Point Lake is what the name of it is. And I say that for a reason. Keep Point Lake in your mind, because it is a pivotal part of this story. So she drives around a lake, and she knows this lake very well because her grandfather, Mr. Mac Daddy, we just gonna call him Mac Daddy Granddaddy. Mac Daddy Granddaddy. Mac Daddy Granddaddy got him a house on the lake. Of course he does. What player wouldn't? So her and her Mac Daddy Granddaddy live in a house on Point Lake. So, she knows the area very well, even though she knew in town. So she drives around there and she's like, oh my God, I gotta be a hero. I gotta help Jim. Even though the police told her to stay her little butt over there by the party because they had questions and stuff for her, she still went on and decided that she was going to be a hero. So she gets there, and this fool does not know how to be a hero because she is running around there yelling, Jim. This is like, girl, is that what we do when somebody has a take out the water, add shots, that has clearly showed that they are willing to do what it takes to get their mission accomplished? Clearly, because somebody missing some guts and the other person missing the top of their skull. It's in the book. I suggest you read it. It's a good read, honey. It stars off. If you think you're going to be bored, you're not. So, I don't know why we running around yelling. Like, you're not a hero at this point. Now you're a hindrance. You're not a hero. You're the other H, hindrance. Okay? You're not helping. So she's running around yelling Jim, yelling Mary, yelling bloody hell. And all of a sudden, a hand grabs her around the mouth. It's Jim. And he's like, shh, girl, giving away our location, girl. Did you see what she did to them other people? And so she's like, okay. And then she, they sitting there and she's like, do you know where she is? Did you hear anything? And she's like, why did he do it? And he's like, shh, shut up. Like, this chick does not know how to be a hero. I'm just putting it out there. Scott, if I was being a hero like that, would you want me to be your hero?
Probably not.
I would still be his hero. I would still go get him. So He's like, shh. She was like, well, let's just go to my car. He's like, you got your car here? And you didn't say nothing. So, you know, they creep to the car, but they hear a twig crack. And they're like, oh shit, it could be anything. Oops, I wasn't supposed to curse, but it happened. Cursing happens. So he's like, all snap, you know, what could that have been? Is it our girl Mary? Scott, do you think it was our girl Mary or what here?
That's what I would be thinking, but I think it's too early
in the story for Mary to catch up with him.
Yeah.
Well, it was Mary, and Mary's like, freeze, I got you. And so he's scared. This is where Jim was just making me be like, sir. So anyway, so Mary, they couldn't tell where she was from because it's the woods, and you know the woods be echoing kind of weird. So they couldn't tell where she was at exactly, but they froze nonetheless because you don't know where this chick is, and you know she a good shot because she came. So she finally sees Mary, and you know she's like, Mary, what are you doing? Angela's like, Mary, what are you doing? And Mary's like, and mind you, Jim is just cowering behind Angela, like, oh my God. Like, sir, you a whole football star. Y'all will see why I'm so upset with this. So anyway, so he cowering behind this woman. I guess I would probably be cowering too, but sir, she after you. You know she after you. We know because you jumped out that window like you did. So anyway, he did. In the book, you got to read it. So anyway, so, you know, she's like, Mary, girl, what are you doing? Why are you trying to kill this man? And Mary kept telling her, ma'am, move. That is not a person. That is a monster. That is a monster. That is a this. So she's like, girl, you need to move because that's a monster. And I got to take this one out. I got to take him out. And so, you know, Angela's still trying to talk her down. She's like, girl, no, you ain't got to do this. This is crazy. Do you know this Jim, this your man? He fine. And so Mary's like, girl, you got like 10 seconds. But then all of a sudden, another tree branch crunch. Who do you think it is, Scott? Who do you think it is?
I think it'd still be Mary, but maybe it's not.
It's not Mary. Let me tell you who it is. It's the detective that Angela was talking to. So he's like, okay, freeze. Everybody just got to freeze here, honey. So he's like, freeze. So, you know, everybody freezes. Now, Mary is like, I don't know where you at. So how can I trust that you even here? Like Mary is, let me tell you something about Mary. Mary about that life. Mary is just about that life. Like if there was somebody who I was in the trenches with, I want to be with Mary, honey, because Mary is here she understands the assignment. So, you know, Mary, like, how I know you really there? Let me tell you what that officer did. Inspector Wynn is his name. Inspector Wynn went on and shot the gun out her hand. Okay. Boop. He said, is that close enough for you? He didn't say that, but he might have. I would have been over there talking stuff. I'd be like, girl, is that close enough? Or shall I keep going? I would have did that, but I'm that kind of girl. I also would have probably been cowering behind Angela too. So, I mean, I do it all. So, you know, she was like, okay, I give up. But not really. Because my girl had a smaller one. My girl came and she was like, okay, I come prepared, baby. I knew this was gonna happen. I told you that made a monster. So she came with the smaller one and got Jim in the leg. Boom, football star down, pimp down. And so, you know, but don't forget, here come, you know, Lieutenant Wynn out here. And so Lieutenant Wynn had promised Angela when she was doing all that rah, and talking about I'm gonna go help. And he told her go back, go sit down somewhere. He had kind of promised her, like, I'm gonna try not to take her out. And so what he did, how he subdued my girl, Mary, was he knocked her on top of the head. and put her out. And so that ended that. So, Jim was screaming and crying and carrying on because his knee got, he got shot. So I get it. And Angela is just in shock. She's just like, girl, I was just having my second beer. And my best friend came in here, pew, 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 and everybody, like, what just happened? So nonetheless, here, I got my notes. Sorry, I got to look at my notes real quick. Okay, so later on that night, as what would normally happen, my girl is down at the police station. And, she's getting questioned because she had a pivotal role in this because my girl thought she was a hero. Well, she kind of was a hero. So my girl had a pivotal role. So, of course, the police are like, okay, girl, you got to come here. You got to make some statements. You got to tell us what you saw. We need everybody's statement, blah, blah, blah. This shit just ran amok up in somebody's party with take out the water, ass shot, And so, she's being interviewed and she don't really, she told what she saw. And that was that on that about that. So she was asking Detective or Inspector Wynn, hey, can I go talk to my friend Mary? And he was like, well, what are you going to talk to her about? She was like, to ask her why. Sir, what do you mean? The same question you want to know why she did all that. We didn't have a talk before then. This isn't like For My Man or Fatal Attraction. She didn't discuss this with me. We didn't have a plan. Like I was, So she's like, the same thing you want to know. What you talking about?
The police didn't think she was involved at all with her?
She was not involved. She was just sitting there having a good time, drinking her second underage beer. And all of a sudden this pops off and she tried to stop her. Like she actively tried to stop this girl. And everybody, everybody at the party probably was like, yeah, she got kicked in the face. She took one in the face. Okay. So why would you be in it and getting kicked in the face?
Good point.
So probably being a hero saved her. I don't know. So, sorry, I'm doing a poor job at this puzzle, but yet a good job. I'm doing both. So, he's like, yeah, go on in there. Cause he recording it. It's the police, y'all. Like, let's keep it funky. He recording. So he's like, girl, yeah, that's a good idea. You should totally go in there. So she goes in there and she's like, girl, what? Mary, girl, what was that? Now, mind you, she's like, Mary is beautiful. Like the way she described her friend is cute, honey. But not now, because they done roughed her up and where she got hit on the side of the head. I guess the hospital shaved off that side. Girl, she was looking a mess. Probably questioning her choices of what she did that day. Like, girl, I should have just stayed at home and had a V8. So anyway, she's like, girl, why did you do all that? And Mary is like, it don't even matter. Like, girl, just leave me alone. Why don't you go on and do your little report and go home and leave me alone? And so she's like, so Angela is like not giving up. She's like, no, you gonna answer me this. Cause chick, you didn't kick me in the face. She probably had to get a root canal. Like, girl, you didn't do it too much. You gonna answer this. So finally, Mary's like, girl, they're monsters. They're not human. And so, Angela's like, what the hell are you talking about? They're human. Like, what are you talking about? Have you cracked up? What is wrong? And so Mary starts telling her the story. She's like, I started, I would, Jim, my boyfriend. So I would sometimes go to his practices. She was like, it started there. And I started noticing that the cheerleaders and the football players were doing things that they shouldn't be able to do. And so she's like, okay, what you talking about? And so she's like, well, I saw a cheerleader lift weights so heavy that the bar bent. The cheerleader did. The one who had I put on the back wall. Yeah, that one. How is she lifting weight with one hand where the bar is bending? She was like, I saw the cheerleaders do a flip from the ground up all the way to the top of the pyramid. Girl, they ain't supposed to be able to do that. And then the football player, she was like, girl, I would go to the game. And she was like, before you know, before they turned into monsters last year, when they first came here, Jim couldn't even throw the ball right. Okay, he didn't know what he was doing, girl. All of a sudden, he throwing the ball so tight and spiraled in hard that another player on the player that caught the ball doubled over and had to go to the hospital. How he do that? How he do that, Scott? How he do that?
Must have been a monster.
Well, no. Okay, wait. That wasn't all, because that's anecdotal. Okay, she, you know, if you laid that on me, I'd be like, okay, girl, maybe they taking steroids. I don't know. Have you seen Simone Biles? She does some flips that I can't understand. That don't mean she's a monster. Like, I would have been like that, but that's not what we were doing in this book. That's not what we are watching through. I don't know where my binoculars are. That's not what we're watching through the binoculars, because on this one, baby, we stand far away. We are not on the case. If they come by and knock and do this, we flipping the sign closed. We watching them from afar, okay? Don't forget that. We are not on the case. I'm gonna put that in the title so you know. So then she was like, okay, oh, you not convinced, are you? Well, she was like, well, riddle me this, Batman. Why did Jim, the one whose stomach is gone, his intestines gone, they looking like that? Well, no, that's what the cheerleader looked like. They said the top of her head was gone. That's what she looking like over there. Why is it that they went to a bar and then they took two couples out, 2 women, 2 men, took them to a warehouse, like out in the outskirts of the city, a chicken warehouse. You know, they don't put them in the city limits. Took them to a chicken warehouse. And, you know, 7 people went in, 3 people came out. So because she said she was following them because she was curious. She was, like, girl, how y'all doing all this? So she had started trailing them, following them. And then plus Jim had started acting weird. She was like, girl, he ain't the same. Something ain't right. Women's intuition, I guess. I don't know. This place so crazy because it's a circle. Anyway, so, she said, she waited for them to leave to peel out. She goes in there, girl, blood everywhere. Also, she said, when them people, she said, they tried to clean up for what it was worth. But she said the bags weren't full for real. It was like, they had rolled it up. Like, the garbage bag wasn't full. So she was like, they monsters. Now, Scott, if I told you that story after doing what Mary did, would you believe me?
No.
Would you believe me? Somebody needs to believe me here. Or Mary. Somebody needs to believe my girl Mary. I mean, we have a whole 224 pages, so somebody clearly needed to believe my girl. So, so Angela was looking at her like, girl, you tripping. Okay, if this story is real, what I need you to do for me is this. I need for you to go ahead and tell me what chicken factory, because there's a bunch. I guess they were in a city that had chicken factories. I don't know. So Mary was like, I don't know. It's outside of blah, blah, blah. I don't really remember all of it, blah, blah, blah. And so, Angela like, okay, Mary girl, well, good luck with your trial. She didn't say that. I would have said that, but she didn't say that. She was like, Mary, just take care of yourself. And Mary, had a little jokey joke. Mary had a jokey joke. Mary was like, don't get eaten. Okay. That's how she ended that. Don't get eaten. She should have went with some binoculars. She wouldn't have got eaten. I would have watched that from afar. So anyway, like we're doing, because we're smart, we're not going to get eaten. So, she goes home and she meets up. Wait. I took notes because I knew I would get lost. And I don't want to do the non-sequence stuff. Okay, so the funeral comes. Here come the funerals for the people that, that Mary had, did what she did too. And here comes Jim coming up to Angela talking about, "Ooh, girl, ooh, I ain't been in school for a couple of days," which we get it, honey. Girl, I gotta come over here and thank you for saving me from your crazy friend. Girl, how about you come to the game tonight? Okay, how you playing the game, but I don't know. How about you come to the game tonight and then I take you out for dinner afterwards? Now, so we had a whole I don't know. Scott, would you ask somebody out at a funeral?
No, I can't believe that they're. Yeah, no. Well, yeah. No,
It's Jim, honey. It's Jim. Somebody tried to take him out. So maybe he, look, I'm gonna hear. Oh, go ahead.
They didn't cancel the football game.
No, because Jim, they figured out that they would want them to play. They don't never cancel nothing. They did that to Whitney too. They didn't cancel the award ceremony, and her body was like up a couple of floors above the ceremony. They look, people trying to make their money. So, anyway. So he asking her out on a date. Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Only because I read the book. So that's the only reason why I can do this. And I've read it multiple times, so I'm numb to this at this point. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Maybe Jim saw his life flash before his eyes and he said, let me take all the big risks. You know how people say, oh, I had a near-death experience, and then after that they take big risks, and like maybe that was what because Jim literally, it was bad from the book, what it says. Okay, Mary came to do her thing, honey. Mary wasn't gonna stop till she got everybody, honey. She said they monsters, they monsters. So she's like, now I'm gonna need for Angela to just, it doesn't even matter, but I'm gonna need for Angela to just have some coof. Girl, it is a funeral. But what does Angela do? Okay, yeah, I gotta be there. Twirling her hair, probably I'll be there. Like it's not a funeral. I'll be there. So, because she thinks Jim real cute. She think he real cute. She want him. And so she said she gonna be there. So boom, just like that, she got a date. So she goes home and on the door, and it's her other best friend, Kevin. Now, we ain't got to Kevin yet. Now, her and Kevin got this weird relationship. I don't know why she has this relationship with this poor boy. She even feels sorry for the boy, but they like to flirt with each other. They play flirt. And she knows Kevin really likes her, but she ain't, girl, she didn't got an offer from Jim, but even before that, she wasn't down for it. But yeah, she continues to flirt with him. Now, I think that's kind of wrong. Like, girl, leave that little boy alone. Stop playing with his feelings like that. But nonetheless, she does it. So they come, he come over and they do their little flirt thing, which I do not agree with, because it's like, girl, you just hurting this little boy feelings. So she does her little flirt thing. They do their little flirt thing. And so finally, she has to be like, okay, Kevin, we got to be serious because we got to talk about all this crazy foolishness that happened. And he's like, man, I heard you were a hero and blah, 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 and this and that. And she's like, well, no, whatever. And so she tells him what Mary told her. And so he's like, they monsters, are they? He was like, but something funny did happen before you got here. What do you think that funny thing was, Scott? What do you think that funny thing is out there? And if you put your comment down, they timestamp it, so don't do it. Then you can challenge yourself. It's a challenge. Anyway, he said that nobody drinks from the lake, Point Lake. Nobody messes with that lake. They never have historically. And he said, but all of a sudden they were like, why are we running water from the well way down there when we could get water from the lake that no one has ever used, that does not have any living fish or plants? Foreshadowing. Nothing alive is in the lake. Also, well, we'll get to that. See, boom, notes keep you in sequence. Watch me not have notes next time. It was going to be out of sequence. Don't hold me to this. Don't hold me to none of it. So anyway, so he was like, so they started piping in the water from the lake that no one has ever used, that no fish or plants, and I mean, red tide is I think red tide be everywhere. Oh, that's why I wore this red dress, because it began in blood and that's the way it ended. So I had to wear my blood red dress, child. So, but nothing living in there, nothing. Oh, and also Angela points out various times in the book that plastic has never jumped in the water. Don't go near it. Don't touch it. Like, animals ain't touching the water. But they're just piping it into that high school over there. No big deal. So this can only go well, right? So, I'm doing the damn thing with this puzzle. Bad, but good. Good, but bad. So, he's like, so they started piping it in. And he was like, it just so happened to be a year where it was super duper hot. And you know who be outside when it's hot practicing? Cheerleaders, football, all them. So they were just drinking up all that water and they all of a sudden got sick. But they could never figure out what was making them sick, child. They don't know. So they just, and then eventually, I guess, they stopped being sick and everybody went on with life as usual. No big deal, right? Why would it be a big deal? Scott, if water that no one has ever used in history in a lake is there, and it's like the Dead Sea type lake with no salt, what could go wrong? Oh, and then people are sick and then they're not sick. What could go wrong here? Nothing, right? So let me think. Okay, well, we're at, so he says they get sick. And so she's just like, really? Huh? Little ping go off. Wait. Okay, so she's like, okay, well, with Kevin's assistance, he's like, we should go check some stuff out because Mary's pretty solid. Like, she's striking me as a solid chick, so I don't think she would just go amok. I don't think this was like a breakup type thing. I really do think that we should just at least just check. So they go to the library and they look up books on like Native American, or they look up books on Point Lake, and what comes up is like Native Americans calling the lake the bath of blood. Again, nothing could go wrong here, right? Literally nothing. I don't see nothing wrong with what we're doing here. And again, this is why we got them binoculars, honey. We got them binoculars, and we watching this from afar. We want to be like plastic. We're not touching the water. We're not even touching the land. We're just watching them from across the way because we don't want no parts in this. I don't think this is our thing. There is no mystery to solve, honey. The mystery is how far can we get away? That's the mystery. So anyway, so, Native Americans of where they were called it the bath of blood. She read like a article, and they said there were 2 lakes like that because meteoroids had hit. That lake was made from meteoroids that had came to Earth. They hit like 100,000 years ago or something like that, and there were 2 of them. And so she took that article too and was like, And even though these meteoroids had hit from far away, but both of the tribes were calling it kind of the bath of blood. They kind of both were in agreement, like, honey, we don't drink this water. We don't play with this. This is toxic. We ain't playing with them. Okay, we just gonna let this water look pretty. Don't nobody swim in it. We don't do nothing with the water. It's the bath of blood. So, so she's like, oh my God, that's crazy. But what is that? I have a date with the dude who asked me out at the funeral. I have a date with the dude who my best friend tried to take out, calling him a monster that was sick from the drinking the water from the bath of blood, a few months ago. But whatever, I got a date with him. So hey, Kevin, it was nice. Clearly, I don't want you. And let me get ready so I can go to this football game, so I can go on this date with this dude that invited me out at a funeral that he almost was part of. So whatever. So, she goes to the football game. And now remember, Mary had been telling her, girl, you got to watch the way he throwing that ball because it's making people like double over and have to go to the hospital. And she's looking and she's like, oh, nothing to see here. This is cognitive dissonance at its best, honey. She's like, nothing to see here. Oh, so what that this person is getting carried off the field in a stretcher? No big deal. Everything's fine. I have a date that I've been invited to at a funeral that person was supposed to be at. So, so they go out to eat. Now, also remember, Mary, when she sat there and Angela was like, why did you do it? And Mary was like, they're monsters. Mary said they had unusual appetites. Well, she sat there and watched Jim eat up everything in the diner. And do you know what she told herself? He's a healthy teenage boy who works out a lot. That's it, period. If you're gonna lie to yourself, girl, go all the way, baby. Don't half do. Go all the way. This sounds like an episode of For My Man, don't it?
Yeah, it does, actually.
That's what Angela was giving, honey. Angela was giving For My Man, honey. Fatal Attraction. So anyway, so they go on a date. He eats a lot of food, unusual amounts of steak and things and whatever. And so she's like, oh, girl, that's nothing.
Well, he's paying.
Well, yeah, he was paying because these people are wealthy.
Okay.
So, honey, I'm not going to talk about it because that's too into detail. But she goes and you know what? I'll tell this. I'll probably add it in. So anyway, so then he's like, hey, you want to go to your house? And she's like, absolutely. There's nothing I would rather do. Like blinking, breathing. No, that's secondary to you coming to my granddaddy house. That's secondary. Blinking, breathing, secondary. I want you. So they go to her granddaddy house. Now she sees there's a little note on the door. Granddaddy like, girl, I done got me a hot little thing and I'm going out of town. Because granddaddy is loaded and granddaddy is in his 70s and granddaddy is living his best life. So it's not unusual for him to disappear. So she's like, okay, cool, gang, is really on because, my granddaddy is not even going to be back for days. We could do whatever here. Now, mind you, this is her best friend's boyfriend as well. So we got a few conflicts of interest. We got a few. But nonetheless, Angela's going to persist. So he's like, hey, why don't we go swim in the lake? She's like, no, it's cold. Oh, that's another feature of the lake. It is always cold. It does not matter what time of the year. It is forever cold. So he's like, come on, let's go swim in the lake. He was like, you'll warm up once we get in there. And he's like literally caveman dragging her there. And she's like, you're just so cute. And it's like, girl, what in the cognitive dissonance is going on here? I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe it's me. And even as a tween, I was like, girl, you gonna let him just drag you? Like, you ain't gonna call the police? Okay. You really like this boy. So she gets away and he's chasing her. Like, he's like chasing her. And so, all of a sudden he yells out and screams in pain. And she's thinking, oh, it's where he got shot. Also, this man has gotten shot in the leg and he's playing football. And nothing. Nothing. Playing football very well. Nothing. Nothing is registering. She's just like, this thing, I want that. The chemistry is chemistry. That is not even a word, but that's what it was doing. So he yelps in pain, and she's like, oh my God, I bet you it's that where he got shot. Even though, girl, he didn't ran and played football on it, but whatever, we're concerned. What do you think it was, Scott? What do you think it was? What do you think? What is he yelping about now?
This is after he went into the lake.
He went swimming in the lake, but he's out because he was trying to drag her into the lake with him, but she ran.
Right.
And now he chased her. Like the Terminator, like,
He was running after her.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he yells out in pain.
While running after her.
For a while. You're not gonna guess it, so I'm just gonna keep going with this story. He didn't fail and cut his arm open, and oh my God, girl, I need help. So she just, again, I don't get it. I don't know what the attraction is. I mean, they tell it later, and I'll tell it. But she goes on over there, and he's like, oh my God, I'm hurt because you bandaged it up. So she takes off his shirt, wraps it up, whatever, takes off her shirt. Somebody's shirt comes off, and she wraps it up. And then all of a sudden he wants to make out. This is just what we're doing. And she is going. The thing about it is she is going. This man in Terminator chased you, tried to drag you into a lake that is called the Bath of Blood, that no wildlife will go near. No plant life, no flora, no fauna, no plant life is coming near. Like, girl, there ain't no red flags here. There's a red dress here. And this is why we watching from afar with them binoculars, because I'm not playing with these people because they doing too much. So then he want to make out. Do it all that. And so she's down for the get down. Mind you, this is also her best friend's boyfriend, by the way, who tried to take him out. So many, I gotta remind, because this moves very quick. This is the deep end swim. This book is the deep end swim. This is why I wanted to hit y'all with it, because it's gonna make you want to go read Christopher Pike books. So anyway, they're making out. And all of a sudden she's like, I don't know, but there was blood all in my mouth. And it's like, okay, girl. Okay. If that's what you want, it wouldn't be for me, but hey, somebody like it. Scott don't look like he like it. So she had blood all in her mouth, and she doesn't know. She blacked out at a point and ends up in the bed. And while she's sleeping, she has a dream about the world, not this one. The world. It's another world far away. Remember, we're doing a Mercury puzzle, because remember I told you this has something to do with space and monsters. So she's dreaming about the world. So she dreams that she is in a spaceship and they land on this world. And at first it's just like beautiful and pretty, and there are flowers and all kinds of stuff. Then all of a sudden, all these corpses just come out, and it turns into like this nightmare scenario, and the world like eats her, and it just like, and it's eating people. There are bats. It's like crazy. And so she says she wakes up the next day and she because it rocked her world. That's a lot of worlds, but it rocked her world. It rocked her Mercury. So, so she, is like, oh my God, I don't even know what happened. And then she started feeling like trash, like flu, like headache, like achy. Okay, I knew I'm on track. Like achy, like, oh my God. So Kevin comes. Here we go, Kevin. And he's like, hey girl, I'm coming to check on you. What is going on? He was like, it smells like this. Like, and she's like, oh, I don't feel well. And I don't know why she does this, But she decides to tell him that she go on a date with Jim. I'm like, girl, why would you tell that man that? You know he got a crush on you. She makes a lot of poor decisions. There are no good decisions made here. None. And I'm going to have a lot of lessons at the end of this story. But we're going to get off. I got 10 more minutes and then I'm getting off because we're going to have to part 2 this. So Kevin's like, girl, come on, get up. And she's like, oh my God, I had the worst time. And I went out with Jim. And he's like, you went out with Jim? Why wouldn't you go out with me? Like, it broke my heart, this little boy's part. I was like, oh, girl, why wouldn't you go out with him? You wouldn't be over here dreaming about the world and getting blood in your mouth and almost getting dragged to the bath of blood. Girl. So, you know. So she's like, I should probably go see Mary again. And Kevin's like, girl, for what? Like, didn't she tell you everything yesterday? She's like, no, things are changing. Something's wrong. Also, she's sitting there reading the paper. And do you know, remember that person that got carried off the field in the gurney or whatever? That person was like paralyzed from the neck down. This is just like from catching a football. Again. So she's seeing all this and she's like, oh, well, maybe Mary, you know, after you did all that with Mary's boyfriend, girl, here you go. The cognitive dissonance is kind of fracturing. It's like, so, you know. So they go out to go get married. Now, while she's, you know, going to go see her friend Mary, all of a sudden she's hungry. Oh boy, I'm hungry. Oh, where did this come from? This morning I was good, but right now, oh girl, I can eat anything. I can eat a cow, literally. So, you know, they stop by McDonald's and she gets a Big Mac. It didn't satisfy her. So, you know, she goes to McDonald's again. And she's like, make it rare. I didn't even know you could ask for that at McDonald's. Did you know? I don't know if it's just made up because this is fiction.
Yeah. I don't think you can make one of them little patties rare.
Well, she asked for a rare. She said they gave it to her rare and it helped the pounding in her head. So, boom, we fixed it. So she goes to go see her friend Mary again. Now here, Lieutenant Wynn is there. Of course. And he's like, yeah, of course, go in there. And she says in her thoughts, she's like, we ain't even pretending that we ain't listening. Like, I know he listening to me and he knows I'm listening. Like, girl, it don't even matter. So she goes in there and she tells Mary, I don't know why this woman is intent. Angela, I don't know why. She is so intent on telling everybody that she went on a date with Jim, but she does. I don't know why. Do you know why? Do you know why? Does anybody know why? So she's like, girl, I went out with Jim. I don't think she's like that blunt. I think Mary may have asked her, or I forget how it goes. Y'all gonna have to read that book, girl. It's good. So anyway, so she was like, I went out with Jim. And she was like, oh, did you? She was like, did Jim go ahead and tell you that the reason why I shot it, I was trying to take him out is because what? He asked you, he wanted to date you. That's what he told you. And she was like, yeah, he told me that. And she was like, girl, you stupid. Why did you come? For real. Like, why did you come here? And so, you know, she was like, so Angela had to fess up. She was like, girl, you know, he threw the ball and somebody paralyzed. He threw the ball like you had said. He threw the ball and somebody got like, I don't even know what's going on. And then she also said he ate a bunch at dinner. Now, did she tell that she got a bunch of blood in the mouth and now she hungry all the time? No, she says she just omits that part. That part, we don't need to talk about that, girl, for what? Scott, why would we tell that? Ain't nothing wrong with me. That's what she's thinking. Ain't nothing wrong with me. So, you know, then Mary started asking her, because these are teenagers, because they're like 17 or 18. So she's like, did you kiss him? And she's like, yeah. She's like, B word. And she's like, girl, you tried to take him out the other day. Angela says, you tried to take him out the other day. She was like, that was still my dude, though, before. So they have like this cute conversation, which I love. Just thought I would throw that in there. So anyway, so Angela was like, okay, I gotta go because my head started to pound. I'm thinking about eating people. Ugh, I gotta go. So she goes out to Kevin and wait. She goes out to Kevin. Oh, and then she's like, okay, Kevin, I'm gonna have to drop you off. And he's like, what? No, girl, we on this adventure. And I'm trying to like maybe sneak a date. I mean, if you're gonna date Jim, who may be a monster, you could date me. So he was trying to hang in there. And I get it. But she was like, nah, she was like, let me tell you something, Kevin. My head is pounding. Okay. And I want to eat more McDonald's burgers. I don't even need the bun. I don't need the secret sauce. I just want raw meat. And, I'm going to drop you off. Now, if somebody was saying that to you and you told them the story that people got sick and don't know flora, fauna, animal, nothing goes near the lake, like, would you not heed that? Or
yeah, you might want to consider that.
Before that, I'm sorry. While they were in there with Mary, I forgot. See, even with the notes, I'm still out of sequence. So just get used to it. Okay. So before that, Mary, like, Angela was like, girl, you're going to have to give me something. Like, I get over the fact that I went out with Jim. Get over it. I kissed him. Yeah, get over it. Give me something so I can go investigate it because I'm starting to believe you. So she was like, she was like, oh, this is when she revealed it was chicken coops. And so she was like, okay, bet. And so her and Kevin go out. Angela and Kevin go out to the place. And what they find, blood. Angela is freaking out on the inside. Her head is pounding and she craving red meat, child. Raw red meat. And so she's like, Kevin, I got to drop you off. And he's like, girl, but I love you. I want to come with you. And she's like, look, I'm about to eat the side of a cow raw. I don't know what's going on. This is freaking me out. I'm dropping you off. And I would have heeded. I would have been like, you know what? You're right. Let me, I'm going to catch an Uber. This is the 90s, so he can't. But I'm going to hail a taxi because I don't trust you. So Angela... Wait, sorry. Okay, is about to drop. So we're going to end it here. We're going to end it here because it's going to get crazy. It's going to accelerate even crazier than this chick came in, like taking out everybody. It's going to be crazier than that. So she drops Kevin off, gets her an extra. This chick picks up like some raw German sausage, gets some bread just to pretend like she going to make us like, girl, no. Throws the bread away and just eats the raw German blood sausage. And I was like, okay, girl, you are not, this is normal. We just still in cognitive dissonance, but it's just like fracturing. Little by little, honey. We pushing through. Reality is just like pushing through to her. So what is she about to do? She goes back to the library. The librarian tells her about a Native American that is old, honey. She said he was old when she went to go visit him during the Great Depression. And I was like, girl, okay. But this is the 90s. Don't forget, this book is in the 90s. So she gets the address from the lady, and she's about to head over to the Native American Chief Shining Feather. Because she got to dig deep, honey. Because why were the Native Americans not going? They got the tea. They were the original people. They got the tea. She's like, I can't really be asking this dude that wrote the article. He don't really know what's going on. I need to go back all the way back and figure out why these people weren't messing with it, because they gonna probably know. So we're gonna end it there. I need y'all to like, share, subscribe. Let me know if y'all like it. Give me some comments. Tell me what you think. For real. Like, be honest. Well, don't be too honest. Like, keep it nice, please. But tell me what you think. Am I doing it okay? And yeah, I'll come back and we'll finish up Monster. I told you Christopher Pike I shouldn't have probably been reading this stuff when I was like 11. It's probably why I'm crazy now. So Christopher Pike is good. We'll do more. Let me know if you want more Christopher Pike. So anyway, we are, girl, we gonna put some wood up to our door, our windows. We gonna board up our windows and stuff, girl. It sounds like it's Night of the Living Dead. I don't know. Whoa. So anyway, like, share, subscribe. Tell me what you think. That kind of stuff. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.